Spokeswoman for Planned Parenthood Federation of America is with us, Ianthe Metzger. Ianthe, thank you for being with us. And this now, let's talk about the substance, not the leak itself, as they were talking about. But what do you make of the reaction in Washington? What does it tell you about the court? And what does it mean for American women and all Americans?
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I mean, I think that it's really telling that Republicans, as you saw, are focused on the leak, whereas Democrats are focused on what the leak says. And, you know, to be clear, we want to be clear that abortion is still legal in this country. It is on the law of the land. The way still stands. But, you know, the court, which is now dominated by justices who are hostile to our freedoms, has failed this country. You know, we are devastated, of course, we are furious, but we are eager to fight back because we know that the majority of the public is with us on this issue. And, you know, whether that's at the ballot box or anywhere else, we are ready to mobilize and to do what we can to protect abortion rights in this country.
The majority opinion by the Supreme Court on abortion rights, and it's now been authenticated by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says this is a real first draft, apparently, by Justice Alito of the coming opinion. Now, drafts can change and votes can change, but it looks like the coming opinion in the Mississippi abortion case. So, Ianthe, I wanted to come back to you on that and on you know, what can be done and what impact this leak has on the Supreme Court and on this case.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, we've been sounding the alarm for years that this has been the goal, that the Supreme Court could overturn Roe if Trump got his justices on the court. And that's what is poised to happen. So if anything, I hope that we can really bridge that believability gap and people can finally realize that this is a real issue, that this fight is on our doorstep, and that at the end of the day, the ultimate goal has always been to ban abortion. And hopefully people will turn out and do what they need to do when it comes to voting, when it comes to shoring up support for access in the states. So that's really the ultimate thing that I hope happens after this leak today.
And just talking about access state to state, you know, what options does this leave on the table when it comes to women and their protected rights?
Yes, well, I mean, if this is true and Roe is overturned, we know that 26 states will move to ban abortion. 13 states have trigger laws that could go into effect immediately and have abortion be banned immediately. And that is going to impact 36 million women across the country. So the threat is very real. I mean, right now, even with Roe intact, Texas, of course, has banned abortion for the past 8 months. So we know what this looks like. We know what it looks like when you ban abortion. And that means that people are going to be forced to leave their state to seek access to basic health care. And that means people will have to find childcare, will have to find the funding, will have to find transportation and time off work. That means that people will maybe be forced to carry a pregnancy they don't want to term, unfortunately, or to seek healthcare outside the healthcare system. So it's pretty grim right now, but these are the real impacts of what is going to happen should the Supreme Court overturn Roe v. Wade, which they seem poised to do.
And Ianthe, let's talk about this ruling and who will be most affected by it. And that raises the question of privilege in America when it comes to access to health care. And now, apparently, when it comes to what still is a constitutional right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, barriers to accessing abortion care and other healthcare services have always existed. And it's always been Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities that have been impacted the most. They're the people who are least likely to be able to take the time off work to get this care that they need. And so they're the ones who are going to bear the brunt of a ban on abortion. They're the ones who are going to be forced to carry a pregnancy to term. And it's incumbent on all of us to speak out against that and to really demonstrate who the people that will hurt the most are if this ban is allowed, if abortion is allowed to be banned in states across the country.
Ianthe, while we have you, because there's a lot of questions lingering around this research that came out that we were talking today, this recent data collected by the CDC that came out with some pretty interesting numbers that surprised a lot of people when it came to who actually gets abortion. Two things that stood out that the CDC says that more than half of abortions, 56.9% of these abortions, are women in their 20s. But then another really shocking number was for Black women, the highest rate. As a population, Black women had the highest rate at 23.8 abortions per 1,000 women, whereas women white women had the lowest number. Can you put that in perspective? Because there's been a lot of speculation out there when you talk about black women versus white women, and you brought that up about privilege, that there just are not the resources out there, the education, the health care. Would you agree to that? And then question number two about young girls in their 20s, the majority of these abortions. You know, what leads to such a high number there? Those are the two pieces of research that came out today that we've been talking about that we really haven't been able to put perspective behind, just telling our viewers about the numbers.
Yes, well, I mean, black women have always disproportionately been the ones to access abortion care, and that's for a number of reasons. You know, black women are more likely to work in low-income jobs. They're more likely to have difficulty finding the health care that they need in general, and so it makes sense at the end of the day. And when we think about the systemic barriers to care, the systemic racism that has pervaded this country, it only makes sense that black women are the ones who are going to seek abortion care the most. And, you know, when it comes to young people, that again is not surprising to hear. But I mean, I will say, of course, that we know that 1 in 4 women in her lifetime is going to seek access to abortion. This is a very common medical procedure that has been so stigmatized that people talk about it like it's not. But it only makes sense that young people who in many states do not have the access to the sex ed that they need, do not have access to the contraception that they need, are the ones who are also seeking abortion care and have unwanted pregnancies the most as well.
All right, spokeswoman for Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Ianthe Metzger, thanks very much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.